Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Sean's Movie Crusades. I'm Sean Waskrug and I'm here to review all the latest movies that have come out in theaters or in the past year, as well as any old school movies you recommend me to watch and review. If you do have any recommendations of movies you'd like to have reviewed, feel free to comment below, or you can comment at Sean's Movie Crusades on Facebook. And don't forget to give the video a like, share, and subscribe so you keep up to date with the latest movie news. Today, I am reviewing, came out earlier in the fall, Predator. From Shane Black, and I love the first Predator film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which came out in '87. I was alright with the sequel that came out, I think, 1991 with Danny Glover. The Alien vs Predator movies, I wanted them so badly because I loved the video games and the toys and all this stuff when I was growing up, and I so badly wanted an Alien vs Predator film, and then they came out with two that were just really not good. they sucked. And then they did one a few years back, Predators, which I thought was really solid. Good cast. I thought it was a decent movie. I mean, it wasn't up to the levels of the first Predator film, but I thought it was a solid attempt. So when I saw Shane Black, who is a fantastic director and writer, he was actually in the first Predator film. He was one of the army guys who gets taken out by the Predator in the first film. When I saw he was going to do his own version of Predator, and I think he actually helped write the first film as well. But I was real excited because not only is Shane Black really good at what he does. I mean, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a phenomenal film. A lot of people are a little indifferent when it comes to Iron Man 3. I liked it for the most part. And The Nice Guys, I wasn't a huge fan of, but a lot of people love that movie. But Shane Black, I know he's going to at least try to do his best with whatever he's given, and he's got snappy dialogue, and he usually has a real great cast with him because people want to work with him. And that's kind of what's going on with this movie as well. The cast of this is awesome. I mean, this movie couldn't fail because of how great the cast was. I mean, you got Sterling K. Brown, who anyone who watches This Is Us, he's an amazing actor. You have Boyd Holbrook. He was, anyone who's seen Logan, which, let's face it, mostly people have. He was the guy with the robotic arm who was hunting Logan and X-23, or Laura. This is kind of the first movie I've seen him in besides Logan, so it was very interesting to see what he was going to do. You got Olivia Munn in the movie, which most people know who Olivia Munn is. You got Thomas Jane, Keegan-Michael Key, Alfie Allen, who plays Theon in Game of Thrones, Jake Busey. You also have Jacob Tremblay, who's a phenomenal child actor who's really been rising up the ranks of one of the best actors in Hollywood for his age. And then you got Trevante Rhodes, for anyone who saw last year's... Was it last year's? Last year's Best Picture, Moonlight. He played the older version of the child in that film. The cast, Yvonne Strahovski, I'm butchering her name, but she's from Chuck and Handmaid's Tale. The cast is huge, and it's a fantastic cast. And, of course, now you got the Predator. So how can you hate this movie? Well, problem is no matter how great the cast is, and no matter whether you have the Predator or not, this movie is just so stupid. It's so stupid. And it really upsets me, because I was so excited to see this film because of the cast, and because of it being a Predator movie. And this movie is all over the place. It really is. It's like it just doesn't know what it wants to do. I mean, it gets there, but they throw so much at you, and from all different angles, and then it's kind of like, the best way I could probably describe it to somebody is, think it back when you're a kid, and you have all these toys, and you're setting up your room to have this big epic story that you're about to tell, but you spend up so much time setting everything up that by the time you actually start playing, you just start kind of cutting everything down. And you start like, oh, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. And then it gets to the point where you're just like, you just don't want to play anymore. Because you got so tired of just building everything. And, I don't know, maybe that's just me. I did that a lot. But It's kind of what this movie is. There's just so much stuff that they throw at you, and not all of it's good, and a lot of it's kind of pointless. But there's some fun. There's still some fun to be had in the movie. Like I said, the cast. What sucks about it too is that the cast is such a great cast, and I love Shane Black as a director and as a writer. But the dialogue in this movie is atrocious. It's so bad. Clearly, everyone in the movie's having a good time for the most part, but some of the lines are just cringeworthy. Sterling K. Brown, I love this dude. He's a phenomenal actor. I've never hated him in a role till this one. It's not necessarily even his fault. It's just the lines he's given and how he's having to deliver the lines. It's just so... He's basically a child in this. I mean, he's just... The delivery of the lines and what he says are just so, like, cringeworthily bad. And it's not just him. It's a lot of the actors in the movie. The dialogue's just so poor. And it's so gratuitous and rough. It's just like that's not necessary. That's not needed. There was no reason for an F-bomb here. And that's not me going, oh, the movie has cussing, I hate it. That's anyone who knows me knows that I care less about cussing. But it's one of those things where it's just like, it's almost like a kid who's 13 or something who just learned how to, or younger, who just learned how to cuss for the first time, so he just has to throw cuss words in because it sounds cool, or throw in raunchy comments because it's cool. And it just doesn't flow with the story. And there's certain characters, mainly Olivia Munn's character. She's great in what she does, but once again, the plot of the whole movie, or not the plot, but the main part of the movie, great cast. They do a good job with what they've got, but what they got is not good. Olivia Munn is a biologist. She's a biologist. She's never seen a predator before until they bring her in. But yet, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she knows everything about it. She knows what its motives are. She knows how it does this, how it does that. And then, she's like this badass, like action hero character. Which I'm like, no, you're a biologist. I'm sorry, no biologist would chase down a predator that just slaughtered and murdered 20 people in front of her eyes. And her first reaction is to get her clothes on, because she was in a detox chamber, so she was naked, but you don't see anything. But your first instinct is to put your clothes on and then go chase this thing. You are not a military person. I'm sorry. It was very hard to buy her character. Like I said, she does a good job doing it, but it's just one of those things like, you're a biologist, you have no story background that proves that you're this, like, you know, daredevil of a character, and she just starts going and doing full-on action hero stuff, and I'm just like, I can't buy it. Now, if you had given me some story that, you know, explained why her character was like that, then okay, cool. Well, what she's doing makes sense. You know, she's like a Lara Croft kind of character. But no, you're never given anything like that. So it's just so out of left field that this biologist is just this badass character, and then it just rubs me the wrong way watching her just go and do all these things where you have actual army guys who you know are badasses, and you know who do certain things that aren't nearly doing anything really close than what she's doing. And so it just kind of took me out of the movie, or just made me roll my eyes at everything, because she's doing things that I'm just like, no, I'm sorry, I don't buy you doing that. Like, by the end of the movie, okay, but like at the beginning, I'm like, what? Who is this woman? Because she's just doing things I wasn't expecting. And it's just so not built into her character at the time, so it's just like, oh, screw her backstory, she's just a badass, deal with it. Which basically is what the movie tells you to do. The rest of the main cast, the army cast, which is basically, Boyd Holbrook, Trevante Rhodes, Keegan-Michael Key, Alfie Allen, Thomas Jane, and what's the other one? Augusto Alguera. Sorry if I said that wrong. They're kind of the losers, or they call themselves the Loonies, army group. They're basically all on a bus, and they're about to be transferred to a black, no, that's not the word, black spot, basically they're getting put away. They're basically nuisances in the military. They're basically going to get lobotomized, and they either know too much or they've done something that has put a black mark on the military, and they're getting basically put away or taken away. And Holbrook's character, Quinn McKenna, he's the guy he's the straight man, like the Arnold of the movie. He deals with the Predator in the very first few scenes. He's the one who knows too much, and so they're just trying to shut him up. And then in the process of them trying to find him, and in his first battle with the Predator, he steals some of the Predator's gadgets, mainly his face mask and his gauntlet, and he mails it home. Well, he was hoping to mail it to a P.O. box, but it actually goes to his home, where his son, played by Jacob Tremblay, is at. And his son is he's autistic, or he has Asperger's, he's got both. But he plays a real unique character, but once again, because he's autistic, or because Asperger's, he's able to understand the Predator. Like, he's able to understand their language and how all their stuff works, and it's just like, I don't buy that. It's just, and they gotta go, oh, because he's on the spectrum, he's evolutionarily superior. And it's like, no. Just, no. No kid can pull up the gauntlet of a Predator and be able to run its computer maintenance like they're reading the alphabet. It's utterly ridiculous. And the rest of the loonies, they're all unique in their own way. Thomas Jane, who I love that actor. He's fantastic in mostly everything he does. He plays a character with Tourette's. His character name is Baxley. He's got Tourette's, and he brings some humor to the role, but mostly it's ridiculous and overacted. Keegan-Michael Key, who I love from Key and Peele, I enjoy the hell out of Key. He's so loud and obnoxious in the movie that he comes off borderline annoying. But the great thing also about Shane Black and what Shane Black does is that even though the dialogue's so rough and these characters come off annoying, you feel for this group of loonies. And so even though in your head, because it is a Predator movie, these guys are eventually going to get picked off one by one, you actually kind of care when they get picked off and taken out by the Predator. So if I commend Shane Black for anything in the movie, is like, you actually took 5 to 6 characters. I mean, there's one or two that probably don't get enough screen time to care about them, but you take these 5-6 guys and you actually maybe care about their well-being in the movie and whether or not they were going to live or not. And when they did or did not die, it actually kind of stung a little bit. So good on you for making me feel that way, because the movie's just utterly ridiculous. I mean, the Predator looks cool, but even then, there's 2 Predators in the movie. You basically find out in the film, and this isn't spoiler, so don't worry about me spoiling this. There's 2 different types of Predators. There's like a smaller tribe, and then there's a huge tribe. You kind of learn that in the Predators movie that came out a few years ago. And basically, this one is coming to Earth and I'm not going to spoil that part because that's a spoiler. But he comes to Earth, and he crashes into Earth, but he was coming to Earth for a reason, and he's got a mission, and it's kind of a good guy mission, but he also still doesn't care about just killing humans. Like, he's actually supposed to be coming here to help us, but if he kills people, it's cool. And so it's just like, okay, well, that's kind of muddled in what you're trying to teach us in terms of this character. And then you have this big Predator that's coming down with his Predator dogs. Yes, they're Predator dogs in the movie. They're utterly ridiculous. They serve no purpose. And even then, they do one with this one thing with this one particular Predator dog, which serves no purpose. There's no purpose in the movie for this Predator dog to do what he does. And I kept waiting for something where it's like, okay, this is why this Predator dog is doing what it's doing. It never happens. And then they just kind of drop it off at the end of the film. Like, you just kind of like, oh, okay. And they do that with a lot of actors in the movie, too, where it's just like, wait, what happened to that character? What happened to this character? And that was a problem that Halloween had early in this year, is that, like, you had characters who just drop. Like, they don't die. Nothing happens to them. They just disappear from the movie, and you never see them again. You don't know. And they were in the middle of a huge conflict in the film, and they just got written off, which is just lazy writing. It's lazy directing, in my opinion. But the bigger predator is coming down to Earth to stop this other predator from delivering or doing his mission. And then obviously humans are in the way, so just kill and have fun while you're at it. So that's kind of the underlying story of plot of the movie, is this one predator is trying to come to Earth to give us something or help us. And then this other one's hunting it down, and then obviously you have the military trying to capture them, one of them, if not both of them, so that way they can use them or study them. And then you have these ragtag group of army soldiers who are just kind of thrown into the mix. And then obviously Holbrook's son has the equipment, so the predators are going after his son. And like I said, there's so many just things coming at this in this movie. And then by the end of the film, it narrows itself down, but then it kind of just chops away all, like, oh, this story that you've been listening to just was not important, so we're just going to pretend it didn't happen. This one doesn't care, so we're just going to, run it off. And then there are certain character deaths that happen so quick that, like, there was one time I literally I thought one character died because of how the editing was so jarring and fast, that I thought it was one character that died, and I was shocked that there's like, wow, I can't believe they killed that character. But it ended up being a different character. So when that one popped back up, it was just so quick and not letting it breathe in terms of the action, that I literally got confused that one person died and not the other person. And then when I found out that it was this person that died and not the person initially, I was like, wait, that was kind of that's a big character that they just basically treated like it was a nothing kill. That was kind of a disservice to that actor / character, that they just kind of killed them off that way, which also rubbed me the wrong way. And that's the main problem with the movie, is that the dialogue's rough. There's bad editing in the film. Storylines are thrown in way too much and then just dropped. Certain characters are just dropped and forgotten about throughout the film. Some are given so much screen time and they're just killed off in such a quick jolt of a way that if you blink and miss it, like literally if you blink, you will miss a big character kill. And if they're just treated with and then the end is, it feels like a different film altogether. It's basically like you're watching the movie, this is the movie we got, and then the last like trail 3 to 5 minutes of the film feel like it's a tacked on ending to have a sequel, and it does not feel like the movie that we had just been watching. It's like, okay, is this, how many months later is this happened? Because this does not feel like the movie that we had just watched, and it's a mess. But while it was a mess, can I say that I didn't enjoy myself? No. It's a Predator movie. I still had fun. I still liked watching it. It's not a good movie, though. So it's one of those things where it's like, I could tell that I'm watching a bad film, but I didn't hate watching it. But it's not something I would necessarily also recommend to people either. So, I mean, if you just want to watch a Predator movie, but you're hoping it's, or not, you wouldn't hope this, but it's like, if you want to watch a Predator movie, but don't expect it to be like the classic Predator film, then you might be okay with the movie. If you're expecting it to be anything remotely close to the the Arnold Schwarzenegger film, then you're going to be disappointed. And if you're trying to watch the movie and you're expecting a fantastically well done film, you're going to be just annoyed and pissed off. That's kind of the best way I can kind of describe the film. It's bad, it's stupid and ridiculous, but I enjoyed myself for the most part, when I was able to shut my brain off. So yeah, shut your brain off, watch it, you'll probably have fun. If you leave your brain on, you're probably going to go, that makes no sense, that's stupid, that makes no sense, I hate this movie. So it's a brain off turner film, and that's basically it. So I hope you enjoyed the review. If you guys have any comments, or if you want anything kind of drawn out more in terms of like, hey, could you explain this? Feel free to leave a comment down below, or you can leave a comment on Sean's Movie Crusades on Facebook. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the video and to the channel so that way you're kept up to date with all the latest reviews. Like I said in the previous video, I'm kind of going back now and watching movies from the past year that I just didn't have time to get around to when they came out. So you're going to see a lot of reviews coming up of not just released films, but movies that have been released in the past year. Sorry about that. So expect a lot more content coming down over the next couple weeks, because I'm trying to get all these watched so I can have a consensus top 10 movies of the year list, and so that way I feel like I'm not leaving any big movies unwatched. So, yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and in case I don't see you guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.